Students, in the past lecture, we discussed about center of mass of a rod and center of mass of a semicircular ring. Likewise, when we are dealing with center of mass of uniformly distributed masses like extended masses which are uniformly distributed such that they can be a rod or ring or disc or square or cube or cuboid, these all are uniformly distributed masses and they are regular shaped objects. They are not irregular, they are regular. So when we deal with this kind of objects, the center of mass will be usually their geometric center. Now for this rod, geometric center is here, and for the ring, geometric center is here, and for the disc, geometric center is here. For the square, geometric center is here, and for the cuboid, this is geometric center. So when you are dealing with these regular shaped objects, for these all regular shaped objects, solid objects have center of mass situated at their geometric center. Center of mass is situated at their geometric center. It means that their geometric center will be center of mass of that particular object. Usually, say for rod. For rod, center of mass is situated at the center, which is exactly coincided with the geometric center. Similarly, ring, for the ring, this is the center. Center of the ring is this. Even though there is no mass present at center of the ring, there itself center of mass can be situated. And remember that condition, for center of mass there need not be any mass. At the center of mass position there can be mass, there cannot be any mass present over there. Similarly, if it is a hollow cube, you can consider that center of mass, at the position of center of mass there will be no mass. And similarly, if it is a square wire which is arranged in the form of a square, in such cases center of mass position where we do not have any mass, even then center of mass is located at the geometric center. So remember that at position of center of mass there can be mass present or there need not be any mass. There need not be any mass even. Like these are for regular shaped objects. Now there will be always it will not be regularly shaped objects. There can be even irregular shaped objects also. And there can be a semicircular ring or a semicircular disc or a triangular lamina or half triangular lamina. Like that, there will be many half shaped, half of regular shaped objects. Like for example, we can take a ring like this. This is semicircular ring. For semicircular ring, center of mass is situated at a position which is 2r by pi, and this is along YCM. Because the bottom portion is removed, center of mass is shifted upward. Similarly, there can be a half disc like this. This is semi-disc. For this semi-disc, center of mass is situated at a position 4r divided by 3 pi, and this is also along YCM, because along x-axis both masses are balanced, but along y direction the bottom portion is missing there, so therefore center of mass will be shifted in upward direction. That is for semicircular disc. Similarly, you can have solid semicircular disc or solid hemisphere. Solid hemisphere. right? This is solid hemisphere. For solid hemisphere, center of mass is situated at a distance 3r divided by 8, which is ycm. And in all the cases, center of mass is situated here along y direction. Center of mass is situated at along this position. So this is ycm. And here also this is ycm. And here also this is ycm. Right? Similarly, you can take hollow hemisphere. This is hollow hemisphere. For hollow hemisphere also, center of mass is situated at the same position as that of solid. And likewise, you can take a arc. This is an arc. This is arc of radius of curvature r. This arc has radius of curvature at this position. Its geometric center is this, and this is radius of curvature. And this angle which is subtended, you can consider it as theta, right? So for a arc, you can write center of mass is equal to 2r divided by theta into sine of theta by 2. So these are generally we will be using these solid objects in most of the problems. So that's the reason why I have discussed these center of mass of different regular and as well as half of the regular objects. Center of mass, like you need not derive these all, you just remember these things. For semi-ring, center of mass is 2r by pi, and for semi-disk, center of mass is 4r by 3 pi, and that will be shifted along y direction. For solid hemisphere, center of mass is 3r by 8. Same thing for hollow hemisphere also. Whereas in case of arc, for for arc, you will have center of mass as 2r by theta into sine theta by 2. And these all formulas are needed to be learned, and they should be by hearted. And these derivations, you can Google it. You will be getting derivations for all these semi-ring and semi-disk. You can even derive for this formula, but I am not going to derive them now. So in this question, as there are three masses, definitely you will be calculating center of mass by using the formula xcm is equal to m1x1 plus m2x2 plus m3x3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. Similarly, ycm is equal to m1y1 plus m2y2 plus m3y3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. We will use this formula and we will be finding out center of mass of the whole system, right? As these three masses are identical and they are like rods, you will have their center of mass situated at the geometric center. This is center of mass whose mass I am considering it as m1, and this is center of mass of second part, it is m2, and this is m3, and this part which is given this length as x. Similarly, this length also we can take it as x, right? And you need to now take proper coordinate system. I need to take proper coordinate system for this so that you can locate center of mass of that system. For that, what I do, I'll take this position as the x-axis. This is x-axis. I am considering this as x-axis, and I am considering this as y-axis. Okay, This is X and this is Y. You should locate positions of these masses. You should locate positions of these masses. So how can you write position of this mass X3 and M3? So X3 and M3, its length is from here to here. This length, it is X plus L by 2. So it will be 2X plus L by 2. Along x-axis, M3 is situated at a position 2X plus L by 2. So M1 is equal to M and X1, Y1, we need to find out. M2 is equal to M, you need to find out X2, Y2. M3 is equal to M, we need to find out X3, Y3, right? So X3, Y3, first let us write. X3, Y3, along x-axis it is 2X plus L divided by 2, that is X2. And along y-axis, how much is this length? Along y-axis, this length is only B by 2. That is X3, Y3. This is third mass. We are imagining it as third mass. Similarly, the second mass, it is M2. This is length along y-axis, it is Y2. And this is length along x-axis. And that is, I can write it as, along x-axis, how much length it is? 2X plus L by 4. 2X plus L by 4. And along y-axis, how much is this length? It is B plus B by 2, which is 3B divided by 2. Likewise, and what about this one? Along x-axis, this is the length. It is L by 2. And along y-axis, this is the length. It is Y1. And this is X1. X1 is L by 2, half of this total length. What about Y1? Y1 will be B plus B by 2. That is 2B plus B by 2. That is 5B divided by 2. So X1, Y1, X2, Y2, X3, Y3, we have located their position coordinates. And now what you need to do? XCM you need to calculate. XCM is equal to M. I can take it common because all the masses are equal. X1 is L by 2. X2 is 2X plus L by 4 plus X3 is 2X plus L by 2 divided by, what is the total mass here? Individual masses are M. This becomes 3M. That is XCM. Similarly, YCM is equal to M. I can take it out common. Y1 it is 5B by 2 plus 3B by 2 plus B by 2 divided by 3M. This M and this M gets cancelled. This M and this M gets cancelled. You can find out XCM, YCM, which gives you position of center of mass of this total system. Yeah, students, there is 4 masses which are arranged in the form of alphabet E. I want to now find out center of mass of this total system. So in order to calculate center of mass of the system, what you need to do? First, you need to choose a coordinate axis. I am considering this coordinate axis, which are X and Y axis. Now, I want to find out center of mass for each position and I should locate their coordinates. Now, for this whole mass, center of mass is at this position. And for this whole mass, center of mass is located at this position. And for this whole mass, center of mass is located at this position. And for this whole mass, center of mass is located at this position. Okay. I'm considering this mass as M1, this mass as M2, this mass as M3, and this mass as M4. Okay. Now you can write M1 is equal to M2 is equal to M3 is equal to M4 is equal to M. All the masses are equal. I want to now write down the position coordinates X1, Y1, similarly X2, Y2, similarly X3, Y3, similarly X4, Y4. I want to write down their position coordinates. So in order to write down their position coordinates, first see this is x1. What is x1 written as? X1 is L by 2. And what about y1? Y1 is half of the breadth. This is half of the breadth. This length. This is half of the breadth. So it is b by 2. Similarly, x2, y2. What is x2? X2 is also L by 2. But what about y2? Y2 is exactly this length. This length is also equal to L by 2. Along the vertical one, it is half of the length. So that is the reason why y2 I am writing it as L by 2. Next, what about m3? m3 I can write it as L by 2. Along x-axis it is the same. But along y-axis, this is the length, total length from here to here. Right? So how do you write this total length? This total length can be written as L minus b by 2. I can just write it as total length from here to here is L. From that, what I am doing, I am subtracting this b by 2 so that you are getting y component. Next, x4, y4. What is x4? x4 is b by 2. And what about y4? y4 is this y length, it is L by 2 because it is placed vertically. These are the position coordinates. So we have calculated position coordinates, and after that you can write down xcm, which is equal to m into x1 L by 2 plus x2 L by 2 plus x3 L by 2 plus x4 b by 2 divided by 4 times m. Similarly, ycm is equal to m into b by 2 y1 plus L by 2 plus L minus b by 2 plus L by 2 divided by 4m. This m and m gets cancelled. Remained is xcm comma ycem. You can just calculate this total and this total so that you will be getting center of mass position for the whole lamina. Yeah. So now let us discuss about finding center of mass of the masses in which there are some cavities. You have a disk, and this disk has mass m and its radius is r, and out of this total disk I am removing this portion which is in yellow color, and that is cavity whose radius is r by 2. Now I am removing this portion which is in yellow color. I am removing that portion out from the whole disk. I want to now calculate center of mass of this remaining portion. So as we know, like this is now cavity. This part is cavity and this is remaining portion. I want to find out center of mass. As you are removing from some mass from this portion, what would happen? The center of mass would undergo shift in opposite direction to that of the removed portion. If you are removing mass right side, center of mass will be shifted left side. If you are removing mass from left side, center of mass will be shifted right side. If you are removing mass from bottom, center of mass will be shifted upward. If you are removing mass from upside, center of mass will be shifted downward, vice versa. So always the center of mass will be shifted in opposite direction to that of removed portion. Now in this case, you are removing this portion. As a result, where is the center of mass shifted? You should find out new position of the center of mass. Now, in order to solve this problem, what I do is I'll consider these masses as two different masses, right? Let me take m1 is equal to mass of cut portion, m2 is equal to mass of left portion, and m is equal to mass of disk. Okay. Now, as the mass is being distributed throughout the area, I can write sigma is equal to capital M divided by pi r square. This is for the whole mass, and that should be equal to m1 divided by pi into r by 2 whole square, because mass of the cut portion is m1, mass of the area of the removed portion will be pi into its radius is r by 2, so that is r by 2 whole square. From here, what do you write? This pi and pi gets cancelled, r square and r square gets cancelled. What is left over here? M1 will be equal to m divided by 4. And what is M2? M2 will be written as 3m divided by 4. So we have got M1 and M2 using the formulas of mass distribution. So linear surface mass density formula we have used, and we have calculated mass of the cut portion and mass of the removed portion, right? Now what I do, I'll use just very small logic here. Let me take this is the total disk, right? This total disk is the sum of, this total disk is the sum of M1 and M2, right? This is M1, which is removed portion. And what about the remaining part? Remaining part is left portion here, and that left portion is this one. Okay, so this is capital M, which is equal to M2 plus M1, where M1 is mass of the cut portion and M2 is left portion. Now for the whole disk, where is the center of mass? Center of mass is situated at a geometric center. This is for the whole disk. Now you can write the center of mass of these two masses, M1 and M2, will be exactly located, if they are combined, they are exactly located at the center of mass of the whole disk. Therefore, what I do here, XCM for M1 and M2 is located at geometric center of complete disk. Okay, that is located at complete disk. So I can write XCM is equal to 0, which I am considering origin. So I am taking this as the origin. I am considering this as the origin, right? So if I take this as the origin, center of mass is located exactly at the geometric center. And for the other part, which is being removed, this is removed portion, right, from this. And where will be removed portion center of mass? Removed portion center of mass will be at this center, which is equal to R divided by 2. So I can simply write M1 is equal to mass of the cut portion, which is M by 4, and X1, which is equal to R by 2. M2 is equal to 3M by 4. X2 is equal to dash. You want to find out this X2. Ante kada. This mass, center of mass is being shifted left side. I want to find out this position X2. And however, its position with respect to this origin is known, it is R by 2. So X1 and X2, these are the things. And XCM is equal to 0. Now you can use the formula XCM is equal to M1X1 plus M2X2 divided by M1 plus M2. Therefore, XCM is equal to 0, M1 is M by 4, and X1 can be written as R by 2 plus M2 is 3M by 4, and X2 is equal to X2 that you want to find out. M1 plus M2 is the mass of whole disk, that I am writing it here M. M goes to the other side, it becomes 0. What is left over there? M by 4 into R by 2 is equal to minus 3M by 4 into X2. This M and this M gets cancelled, and this 4 and 4 gets cancelled. You can write X2 is equal to minus r divided by 3 to 6. So what is x2 value? x2 is minus r by 6. That means this position which is shifted left side, this is r by 6 and it is left side. So center of mass gets shifted left side by a value of r by 6. That is the answer. This way you can use the same procedure for calculating center of mass of masses with cavities. So students, not only for disk, you can even use the same procedure for these masses also. Here you are taking a square lamina. And this is a sphere. And this is a cube. And for sphere you will be using rho is equal to capital M divided by 4 by 3 pi r cube. And for square lamina you will be using sigma, which is equal to capital M divided by length into breadth. And for the cube you will be using rho, which is capital M divided by L into B into H. As this is a cube, L is equal to B is equal to H is equal to L. You can take this. Now you can remove this part. This part is removed. As you are removing this portion, what would happen? The center of mass get shifted. Center of mass, you are removing this portion. So as a result, what would happen? Center of mass gets shifted towards this point. Similarly, in this case, center of mass gets shifted to this portion. And in this case, center of mass gets shifted to this portion. Right? So you can individually write down XCM you should calculate, YCM you should calculate here. Here you can calculate YCM. Along XCM there is no change in the center of mass. And here you should find out XCM and YCM and as well as ZCM. Right? This is the procedure. Like you will be calculating mass of the cut portion first, and from the total mass you will be subtracting mass of the cut portion, so that you will be getting mass of the remaining portion. You will be considering M1 as mass of the cut portion, M2 as mass of the left portion, and its position of center of mass is x1, its position of center of mass is x2. You should use the formula XCM is equal to 0. Here also you will be writing YCM is equal to 0, mass of the cut portion is equal to M1, mass of the left portion is equal to M2, YCM you will equate it to 0, its position is x1, its position is x2, sorry, y1 and y2, because we are center of mass is shifted along y direction upward, therefore you will write it here y1 and y2. Similarly, XCM, YCM, ZCM for the cube you will take it as 0, 0, 0. Now mass of M1 you can write it as mass of the cut portion, M2 is equal to mass of the left portion. You will be calculating individually XCM using the formula. This is x1, it will be having position coordinates x1, y1 and z1. Similarly, it will be having position coordinates x2, y2, z2. You will be just using these formulas and you can find out the center of mass of those remaining portions.